Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking Raymarine. Right now, we've got the Axiom Pro 2 that we're showing you. Several different models. And there's different models for Raymarine than just the Axiom. There's different versions of different technology that you guys have, but we're just referring to this one as of now. I'm going to kind of say, because it fits into what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be putting an Axiom Pro 2 in mine. But this accommodates all of your Raymarine
That's
technology.
correct.
Right? So from FLIR to radar, sonar, which is the reason why we go after these things. But for the folks that are running offshore, you know, I'm not going to say that that's your world, but it's where you're famous, right? Is the saltwater, blue water world. Radar, FLIR, but here's your radar system. Tell all those radar folks that utilize that how this is an advantage.
Yeah, you know, radar's come a long way, right? And so, you know, traditional older analog radars had a magnetron on them. Pretty much all the brands have all moved to a solid state broadband or a chirp radar, right? And two things, they're much safer to be around, right? So radar could run all day with people around. And
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah, you're not worried about zapping people with your radar anymore. So the emissions from the new radars are significantly better than what they used to be. The other thing by having a chirp radar is now we're getting unreal target separation, you know, really close proximity around the boat. I mean, we can see paddle boarders now, you know, that are like, you know, 20, 30 feet off the bow of the boat. The other big one is our Doppler feature. So if you look on our chart plotter here, everybody's used to looking at, you know, your radar page here. If I change it over to Doppler, right? And what it does now is it turns everything that's a static target into a grayscale. So imagine this being a marina, this is a landmass, things that aren't moving, we keep in a grayscale. And if I zoom in here a little bit, you see these targets here. The targets that are highlighted as red are coming at us, and the targets that are green are going away, right?
Nav colors, everyone.
Yeah, so instead of doing all the MARPA targeting and target acquisition and trying to figure out, because you know how it is running in zero-vis fog, low-light conditions, right? It's all hands on deck. Even the guy sitting in the passenger seat has to make sure that we're running safe, right? So now visually, to be able to put the Doppler feature on, and now the operator of the boat can say, hey, these green targets we know are going away, red targets, hey, we need to keep an eye on these, right?
Yeah, pay attention.
Yep, and you can tap and hold on any one of them over here and hit acquire target, right? And then that vector line actually shows you what direction they're going in, shows you how far they'll be in 12 minutes, right? And so you can set the different reference periods. You know, our offshore guys, that's really important. Even, you know, the Columbia River, right? During the summertime, you're going to have days that are foggy, right?
I would consider it more dangerous than the saltwater myself, but I am no expert out in the saltwater. Yes. Okay, so the blue line, that kind of gives you your vector that you're going now, then it gives you an alternative based on what's coming up behind you. Is that what I'm reading?
Yes, exactly. And time to intercept, right? What degree of course change do you need to make so that you don't, you know, hit the other person on the water. We do this in a closed dome radar, right? So the smaller 18, 24-inch domes would do this. For the bigger boats that really want to put some power in, we do have a big open array Cyclone and Cyclone Pro, right? And then we make those in a 3-foot, a 4-foot, and even a 6-foot array that even have some bird mode in them, right? So so for the guys that are, you know, looking for pelagics, right? They're looking for birds and stuff feeding on the bait, you know.
Hugely important.
We have a bird mode in it now that'll see flock of shearwaters and seagulls and frigates and stuff feeding on bait fish.
Okay, albacore tuna, guys. There you go. That's what they're looking for, places to drop waypoints. But there's a lot of technology, right? You got FLIR that people can obviously utilize with this unit. But you mentioned cameras being very, very popular for the FLIR and even in-boat stuff as well.
Absolutely. And the other big one, too, is, you know, engine data, right? Guys want to have their engines tied
RPMs,
into... big time. You know, it's virtually a doctor for your motor, right? So, you know, whether you're running Yamahas, Mercury's, Evinrude, Suzuki's, I mean, any type of outboard, we can tie in here and have full engine analytics. We can do fuel management too, right?
Interesting.
You know, so figuring out what is the best RPM to give you the best...
longest range.
Yeah, exactly, right? Distance to empty, how far do I have on a tank of gas, all that stuff. And really, the system is smart enough that if you ever...
So it's like a fuel flow monitor.
Exactly. So what it's doing is it's calculating your fuel burn, right? So when you go to the fuel dock and you put in a full tank of gas, there's a tab on here that says set all tanks to full, right? You tell you got a 200-gallon tank. Then as soon as you start running, it's subtracting your fuel burn from what the system knows it has as a full tank.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And I can utilize that because I actually had a fuel flow monitor in one of my previous sleds. in a jet boat. I had a 35-gallon tank, and my gas gauge was never accurate, ran it dry.
Yes.
I put that in. It was a separate unit, and I utilized that on my little boat, so that I could do that here, too.
Absolutely. Right? You betcha. All
right.
Yeah. Yeah. And Yamaha integration's actually really easy, too, now, right? We talk really good with Yamaha. We talk good with Mercury. We can actually get all of Yamaha's engine data, you know, their graphics like you'd get on a CL5 or a CL7 directly on our Axiom now.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
The more you know, right?
I'm just thinking because I hate having those little holes. I hate drilling into a boat, right? I don't want the RPM stuff. I don't want any of that stuff. One, it clutters my box, and it also leaves something up to going bad, right? Something could happen if you know, you know. But if I could do it all on the monitor, okay.
It's like your one-stop shop, man. This thing will do anything you want to throw at it. You know, AIS, right? So, you know, for when you're running across the bar or commercial shipping lanes, you want to see different AIS targets. When we run offshore salmon fishing, I always look to see where the commercial fleet's at, right?
Sure,
want to see where they're working over.
And tell everybody why. If you don't understand why do you do that?
So we can find out where
Thank you, because you want to go find where the fish are. It's called using technology to your advantage.
Yes.
And obviously the Axiom can do it. One thing that I'm going to say is that it's a very important investment into any boat that you have. I don't care if it's from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, brand new, or hasn't even been built yet. It's a big investment, and you have to make sure you get what's going to work for you. And if you get something that does everything, and then also gives you the ability to add to it, that's an advantage.
Big time.
It's an advantage.
And one thing we haven't really talked about yet is, you know, we've gone through all the sonar and radar and charts and stuff. We're also getting into the entertainment part of this, right? So if you have a Starlink or, you know, you want to tether your you know, personal hotspot, you can use the apps like YouTube TV, Spotify, Netflix.
Why?
Well, you know, sometimes guys have bringing their kids or grandkids on the boat. They want to throw a movie on so they can watch. I know I go in the water.
You're killing me. That's right, though. Because typically, I have a 12-year-old, and up to this point, it was, you know, how are we going to keep her entertained? Because salmon fishing in Oregon can put a kid to sleep. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, that's very interesting. I wouldn't have even thought of that. Okay, so parting shots. Well, because this is not going to be the first time I'm going to have you in. These are things that I want to be able to utilize and lean on you to teach myself how to utilize the product the correct way. But any parting shots, anything we can make sure that folks are aware of, because they're going to start going to websites and looking at stuff. Anything that they should be looking for.
So the first thing, we did have a price drop January 1, right? So we dropped the price on a lot of stuff. So the good time to buy. Keep an eye out for rebates and promotions, right? So when you're shopping, we do different manufacturers, you know, volume rebates and stuff like that you want to keep an eye on our website. Really, too, we're always updating the firmware on this stuff. So just like your iPad or your Android, we're updating the software on this thing to add functionality to the unit, right? So all these third-party app manufacturers that we're working with, right, that we might have the Windy app and you know, ultimately be able to download apps, you know, on here, you know, improvements to your charts, your sonar, all that stuff. We're constantly improving that thing to make it run faster, make it run cleaner, you know, get rid of some of the latency and stuff like that through these units. But yeah, keep an eye out. We've got all kinds of good dealers here locally, you know, Portland Marine Electronics. You know, got guys you want to come down and
Fisherman's Marine. Portland Marine can get them installed the right way. Very interesting.
Man.
Mike, first, thank you for coming in and sharing some info with us. Thanks for the partnership with GPS. I really am excited about that.
Man.
We're going to have a ton of fun, man.
I can't wait.
And I will admit, at first I'm like, you know, I'm not a saltwater person. How's this going to affect me? How's this going to help me? In my research, it's just going to make me more efficient when I'm out there, and the usability of it for me, because again, I'm an idiot. This is a lot easier, at least in my experience so far, to use. But I look forward to learning more.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to cut to break. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up, give you an idea what we got going on next Saturday and Sunday. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.